I haven't properly sat down to film a video in over a year, and I'm sorry. The last thing I posted on here was me getting ready for my 30th birthday. So naturally, I turned 31 a few weeks ago, and so there's just, I thought that I would be scared at 30. 31 is like, you're not just like, oh, I'm 30. It's like you're in your 30s now. Welcome. Something about turning 31 just like did something to my brain, and like the couple days leading up to my birthday, the panic started to set in, and I've never felt that before, and it really messed with me, and I'm just like thinking a lot and reflecting. I was afraid of what turning 31 meant, like looking at my peers and feeling behind and all that fun stuff, you know, that we feel all the time. But it was the first time I really felt it. I guess felt it enough to where it was my every waking moment. I was just thinking about it. So since my birthday, I've been doing a lot of reflecting and trying to decide what 31 means to me, and not putting the pressure on myself on like what 31 means in like a societal pressure kind of way, and like a what are you doing? Just getting kind of sad about the fact that women are made to feel like there's this line, and once you cross it, once you hit a certain age, like you're done, like we've had enough of you. I was feeling that, and I was just subscribing to that way of thinking, and I just made the decision that I reject that. I talk about this in therapy quite often, actually, just like the pressures that I'm feeling, and like just the voices in my head that are telling me that like your life is over, you're old, nobody cares about you anymore, like your prime is like you're past your prime, all that mess. And anytime that I'm hard on myself, my therapist is telling me, okay, but is that you thinking, like whose voice is talking to you when you're thinking these things? Like, is it coming from you? Is it things that people have said to you? The first time she said that, I was like, I think the voice is mine. And then we dissected it, and the voice was not mine. I could keep going, but the short version is I'm deciding what 31 and entering my 30s means to me. And I was scared for a little bit, but now I'm really excited about life. And let me tell you what happened. Let me just tell you how I went from scared to really excited. I was doing that thing that we do, don't lie, where you're like scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, and you're just like looking at the people that you don't even talk to anymore, just people that you grew up with, went to school with, and you're just like, what is everyone up to? Like, do y'all have kids? Like, what's going on? I'm really nosy. Nosy in the way, like, I'm not gonna share your business, but like, I wanna know it. I just like being in the know. Anyway, I was scrolling, and then like people you may know, mutual friends, whatever, I'm scrolling, and I see this name, and I'm like, oh, I forgot all about this person. I know this person. Okay, click. Account, I'm not gonna name names because like I feel wrong name dropping, but anyway, I click on this page, and it's this person that like I remember when we were 11 and 12, incredibly successful in her industry, like well known and is doing amazing things in her career, and I'm just like, that's really cool. And younger me would get really insecure about that, and like everybody's felt this, where like somebody your age or younger than you is doing amazing things with their life, and you're like, what am I feel like such a loser. But something about that, and seeing somebody my age from where I grew up, like we went to school together, do such, doing something so huge, and something that I feel so passionate and excited about, and I'm just like there was no jealousy, there was only inspiration from that. Anyway, I'm on her page, and I'm seeing all these things, and I'm like scrolling back far, and I'm noticing that what she's doing She hasn't really been doing that long, but her trajectory is just like, I've never seen anything like it. And it just kind of reminded me that your life can change really fast and exciting things can happen to just like regular people like me. There's something about having that as an example, somebody that you like spent time around and like were really normal, doing such cool things, just really like lit the fire back in me of like, you're not out of time. I'm not out of time. There is no deadline for when you're supposed to start following your dreams or like creating your new life, or like just because you hit a certain age doesn't mean that you need to stop. And I think that's what I did. I like everything that I've ever been passionate about, I've kind of just told myself it's too late. Like there's somebody younger and fresher and just more youthful and like with the times forgive me, that is gonna outshine you, and it stopped me from doing a lot of things. I feel like this sounds completely irrelevant for like the topic at large, but it's relevant to me. Okay, this is about me, this is about my story and my realizations. It just reminded me how young we still are, and then I got to thinking about the women older than me that I come across at work or I see in public, and I'm just like, oh, like that woman looks so cool. Like I want to be just like her when I grow up. For example, there's this woman who comes into my job like I would consider her a regular, and she's older and she just has this long luscious hair that you can tell that she takes care of, and she doesn't really wear all that much makeup, but she's very fresh looking, and she like her spirit is also beautiful, and she's never in a rush, and she's just like, her aura, immaculate. I have never asked her like what's her secret or anything. I just kind of observe her. And one day I was at Whole Foods and I saw her there, and I just like looked at her and I was like, of course you're here. And then I looked at her cart and I was like, okay, so your secret is that you care about what you put in your body and you're taking care of yourself. And I think that sometimes the pressure of, is it pressure? I don't know. I'm dissecting this as I'm speaking. I think sometimes the way that women are made to feel about themselves and the fact that they're getting older, they just kind of give up on themselves. I am speaking as somebody who does not have children, is not married, like has a lot of free time to like live my life, I guess. And so I understand that I have some privileges and freedoms that maybe a lot of people my age don't have. But I did go through like a good chunk of time where I just stopped taking care of myself. I stopped prioritizing the things that made me happy because I thought time was up, and it's not. And how silly. I always say that I want to live until I am 100, and 100 is so far from 31 that I'm just like, you have time. Like seeking out content of older women and seeing how they're living their life, and a lot of them aren't miserable and they're not scared, and they are choosing to free themselves from that mentality of like, my life is over. And a lot of people are finding success in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and like starting over and like finding love again. I just have to remind myself that I am still very young. And it pains me, whether it's my coworkers or people online that are like, oh, I just turned 20, I'm old now, and I just want to like grab them by the shoulders and shake them, because don't say that. Going back to feeling like I'm too old to chase my dreams, part of me is glad that I did not do it when I was younger, because one of my favorite things about getting older, and something that I think I heard when I was a kid, maybe like 13 kid, I don't know if it was my dad or I don't know who it was, but somebody said something along the lines of the greatest thing about getting older is that you just stop caring about certain things. This is something that happens internally. So the people who have known you for a good chunk of time, the way that they perceive you, I don't know how I'm perceived. It's been my favorite thing about getting older is my change in perspectives. Like, had my dreams come true when I was a teenager, early 20s, I can't even think about what that outcome would have been, because I was told by so many people when I was younger that I was the most insecure person that they have ever met. I hated absolutely everything about myself. The world could have molded me into whatever that they wanted me to be, and I would have done it. I had no self-esteem, I had no sense of self. I didn't do anything simply because I wanted to. I was huge people pleaser tendencies, huge like wanting to be accepted and not fully ever being accepted, and like trying to figure out why I'm not and like what I can do to be different. And I would concern myself with what would make people like me and not what would make me like me. Not only would I have been whatever the world wanted me to be, but I would have spent all the money. The money would be gone and I would still be here like, what did I do? Oh my god, if you see hair, I'm in between waxes. And I don't know if people older than me or whoever is watching this and being like, you are not old, like what are you even worried about? Here's the thing, I know that now, but I can't lie and say that I'm not noticing that some things are changing. My skin is changing and I've always done my makeup one way. The fact that I could do the same exact steps that I used to, and I'm like, why isn't this, like why isn't it working? Like today I tried to do something new and I'm like, like now my body shows me and tells me like, please drink water, please like stop eating junk food, and like I'm just, like rickety and I never was before, and I'm starting to get more active again and like going to the gym and like watching my diet and all this stuff, because getting up suddenly hurts. And I'm like, if I want to live to 100, I want to be mobile. So I need to do my stretches and I need to be more active and just like more mindful about all those things. That's the only thing in my life for me that has changed. Like, kids might think I'm old, but I still feel incredibly youthful and I'm playful and silly. If you are online and feeling really old and just like a loser, go outside, put your phone down, turn it off, just go, like touch grass is real. Like when I start to get really moody and in my head, something about the sunlight in my face, I'm like, this is what it's like to be alive. And I'm just reminded of the real world. Like, go outside, experience the real world. Like, I spent most of my life so far, I would say all of my teens and most of my 20s just putting everybody else's opinions of me before my own. And 31 for me is letting go of all of that and really focusing on me, because I want to like me and I don't really care so much anymore if somebody doesn't like me. I think when I was younger, if somebody was trying to insult me, they would and they could, and it was easy to hurt my feelings, and I internalized everything. I took everything personally. I was incredibly sensitive, and by nature I am a sensitive person. But now if somebody is trying to insult me and I can sense that that is exactly what they're trying to do, instead of internalizing it and allowing it to hurt my feelings, in my head I'm just like, what's going on? What's going on with you? I guess the last thing I'll touch on is, and this might make me sound old, but we really are in like the short form, like TikTok age. And I grew up with YouTube and long form content, and like in order to see something, you had to actively like click on it and watch it. And now TikTok, it just shows you so many people and different things. And like I started to have a crisis and I was before TikTok, I never really thought about like Botox or filler or any of that stuff, but now, and I could, I'm not gonna like stay on this for too long, but the fact that everybody has started to look the same, TikTok had like planted seeds in my head of like, you're lame. It became a thing of like, well, you look like a millennial. And I tried so hard to run from that. Like, oh, we're not wearing skinny jeans anymore. And at first I was like, I'm prying my skinny jeans from my cold dead hands. But then like the more I kept seeing it, those seeds were growing and I was like, oh, we're not wearing skinny jeans anymore. And so I like stopped wearing skinny jeans. And honestly, like, who am I trying to please? Stop that. The whole winged eyeliner became a conversation that I can never imagine myself giving up. I will be buried in a wing. Some trends I was chasing subconsciously, and not all of them, because some things just aren't my style. Like clean girl isn't really my thing. Like slick backs aren't, like, no. Makeup and fashion, and I like the trends changed. But I know what makes me feel pretty and I know what makes me feel good, and I'm not gonna give those things up because it's obvious that I look like a millennial. I am one. And I do use the laughing emoji, and I'm gonna keep doing it. It's funny because when my brother was younger, I used to ask him what like the slang meant, and he used to tell me, and now he's 26 and I ask him and he's like, I've never heard that. And I have a sister who's 10 years younger than me, and so I ask her and sometimes she's like, I don't know. And time is just gonna keep going, and I can't keep up with everything. The only thing that I hope I can keep up with is technology, because sometimes, like, a lot of things I don't know how to do anymore. And I used to be the one that would be asked. I didn't script this out. I don't even know what I've said. I want to find that out in editing, and I hope that I made some kind of point. You know, whatever. If I'm lame, I'm lame. I'm 31. I'm too grown, quite frankly. I see the teenagers online and their dramas, and they're posting all of their business publicly, and I'm like, I don't miss that. I've gone on long enough. All I'm saying is that 31 to me is me doing whatever I want. I refuse to be moved unless I want to move. And that is the moral of today's video. Let me know if this lighting is okay. I've tried filming in my bathroom, in the car. Horrendous. I'll figure that out. But this is the best I can give you today, and I hope that you love me through it. I haven't said this in a long time because it's been a long time since I've filmed, but we've reached the end. Please take care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself today, and I will see you later.